Okay, so a few days ago, Chris came out with a video talking about how the Lions players were talking about Jameson Williams and just how he has, especially Jared Goff, how he has that game breaking speed. So I went and I looked at the same article that he was reading, and I noticed another little tidbit in there. And at the very end, and I want to show you this, and we're going to start the video off hot with this. At the very end of this, in the interview with Jared Goff, it talked about how the Lions are recently coming off a showdown with the Bills in which they went toe to toe with one of the league's best teams. We know, but they didn't win. There were some difficulties, but it caused plenty of optimism. Whatever. I think the 3 wins before it caused more. He was asked the question, when will this team turn the corner? I also heard a couple, Colton Pouncey of The Athletic was talking about this. And as Goff puts it, the team has turned the corner. Here's what he said. When is the team going to turn the corner? He said, oh, it's turned. We've turned and we've won 3 of our last 4. And we felt like we had a good chance to win last week. And we feel like we can play with anybody. So, yeah, we're there. And certainly a different team than we had earlier this year. And we can play with anybody and beat anybody. Let's just talk about this quote for a second. I just want to sit and talk about it for a second because this is different. I don't think that I can remember a Lions team since pre-Matt Patricia where you would say, no, there's an expectation that they win. They feel like they can win and play and beat anybody. When Patricia was there, it didn't happen. This is year 2 of Campbell, and we finally made it there. I'm actually very, very excited for this. And I think when you have players and the leader, Jared Goff of that offense is saying, oh, we've turned the corner. And he's saying this amidst the offense not actually playing tremendous right now. And so maybe he's just confident. He's excited to see what Williams is going to bring. Maybe it's the fact that the defense has been playing significantly better the last 4 games. So here's the thing that I want you to realize. In those last 4 games, the 3 victories, we beat Green Bay 15-9. Jared Goff only had 137 pass yards in that game. All right, Williams ran the ball pretty well for 81, but that was a defensive victory. Against the Chicago Bears, 31-30, Goff went for 236. All right, this is the guy who's doing this quote. Against New York, he only had to throw for 165, but we scored 31. And against Buffalo, we only scored 25, lost 28-25. Goff went for 240. So here's what I'm saying. Those aren't eye-popping numbers. Not even close to eye-popping numbers. But there's a confidence and an understanding that they're going to win because they're playing complementary football. And I think the other thing you have to remember in those first 2 games, we were without weapons. Chark wasn't back yet. St. Brown was even hurt. There was a concussion protocol issue. And so he was out for an entire game because he got hurt on the first catch that he had. But the team kept producing. And right now with Goff and this offense, it seems like no matter who's in there, the offense is going to play well enough to stay in games and even win games. So now all of a sudden that the Lions are finally getting healthy, there was a video Chris did about that. It's like, thank you so much. Could the guards both play in this game? Could we I don't think we'll get Brown back, but getting Jackson back would be huge. Jonah Jackson, that would be massive to get him back. We really missed those guards. Remember, we were down 3 guards against the Bills. If Williams can come in and then you can add him as a deep threat, maybe he only plays 15 snaps. I don't know, but he runs go routes and you have to respect his speed, taking it off the top of the defense. Then all of a sudden Chark and St. Brown and Khalif Raymond are able to have so much more room underneath. Swift out of the backfield. Like it just opens so much more when the defense has to kind of playing an umbrella coverage. It's just underneath, dink and dunk all day. Something Jared Goff actually is very, very good at is throwing the ball underneath. That's one of the weird compliments we gave him last year. I don't know if you remember this, when he was just throwing the ball underneath, throwing it underneath, back when we had no weapons last year before St. Brown came out and before we got a couple of other guys that were able to help him. So one thing we said that he was great at was when the deep or the mid-level or deep throw isn't there, he checks down and he checks down fast. He doesn't take his time and then the check down is like a last ditch effort because he's been scrambling around and then he throws it. A lot of time that's good, but Goff understands who he is. He's not a guy who is going to be able to, manipulate in the pocket. He's not going to be able to get outside of the pocket and create much with his feet. So he's like, no, I'm going to use my check down and I'm going to get it there quickly. And if you have guys that are taking the top off the defense, if you have Chark and you have Williams on the outside, St. Brown in the slot, like the defense has to respect that speed. The defense has to respect the big play ability of those men. So now all of a sudden underneath you have such easier things. And if you get the ball to Swift in open field and say, hey, make one man miss, he's going to make that one man miss more often than not. So it makes this offense even more dangerous. And then Okudah looks like he's coming back on defense. So I'm starting to feel really good about what this team is able to do. They're seemingly getting healthy at the right time. Let's hope they stay healthy. Please, for once in the history of the Lions, let us just be healthy. But hopefully Sewell is back full go with that what seemed to be slightly sprained ankle, but he played through it last week. So here's the reason confidence is huge. A belief in what you're doing. Jared Goff talked even more in that article about how last year he's like, hey, we're professionals, we get paid, but it's hard. When last year at this time, they're 4-7. Remember that. Last year at this time, I could be wrong on this. We were 0-10-1. 0, 10, and 1. Yeah, it's hard to get up and get ready for each day. And Goff admitted that. But he's like, you're in it now. We're at least in the hunt. Now, don't get me wrong. They're not in the thick of it. And they probably have to run the tables in order to make the playoffs. And they won't. But at least the team feels like they have something to play for. And so they're getting up every morning, and instead of just playing for a paycheck, they're playing for the possibility of a postseason. They're playing realizing that this team is a lot better, and they want to recognize that potential. They're playing because they see the potential, and they want to be part of the team next year. And they know if they don't play well, that Brad Holmes will move on. And they won't be part of the plan next year. You have to play well because the expectation is next year's playoffs. So they know they have to play at a level that is worthy of a playoff caliber team. So we have all this stuff going on. We're mixing it all in, and you just have to say, and you just have to realize, like, the team is going in the right direction. It feels right. So when you see Goff saying we've turned the corner, and I'm sure that's something that would be echoed by all the other players, that's a good sign. Now, hold your horses just a second, because there's also a moment where you have to say, yes, we have turned the corner. There's more corners to turn, because the next corner is don't have it be a flash in the pan 3 games and then you lose 3 games and then you win a game, right? Like, you don't want to end the year with 5 victories, right? And go 5-12 and be like, well, I thought we turned the corner, but then we lost 6 out of the next 7. You don't want that. So the next corner to turn here is you played tough with a team that nobody thought you could play tough and hang with the Buffalo Bills. Now it's time. You're home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going. My wife and I are going to the game. Time to beat the Jags, a team with the same record, a team on the same trajectory as you. They have a younger quarterback than us. Some would say they're more settled at the quarterback position. I don't know if I fully buy into that, but it's a team that's on a similar trajectory. We're at home. Show Dan Campbell that you're a good coach. Show that this team is ready. Show that this team is excited. Jacksonville's pumped. They're coming off a victory against Baltimore at home. They're ready to go. They're feeling just as good as we're feeling. So remember, other teams play too. So what do you think? We'll talk about that. This is a game we should win. I'm sure I'll do a preview on it, but just wanted to talk with all of you because I thought that was a really cool quote from Jared Goff. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're super thankful that you're listening to the channel. We just love the Lions, and we love talking sports. So if you want more Lions and Pistons content, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you.